By the way, Andrew, do you know what time it is?
No, I'm an untimesman.
Well, I can tell you what time it is. It's time for a live stream. That's right, Andrew. We are live. We were live this whole time, by which I mean the last few seconds.
I don't believe you.
I could be lying, but that's what my thing says. It says we're live and says on stream, so I guess we're here.
All right, I'm gonna watch the stream while we stream.
Are we? All right. Also, I think you can watch the stream from my website now, which is kind of cool. I don't know. I'm looking right now, but I set it up so you should be able to watch it from my website.
Neat.
Which is, of course, maxgeng.com. You can go there, check it out if you want. I'm going to double check to see if we're having any audio issues. Andrew, you want to tell me how you've been?
Oh gosh, how have I been? Well, not bad. I've been trying to run more consistently. I just got back from a run, which I guess we're not that late, so I guess it worked out well. But yeah, trying to lose some weight, which is been a grind since like January. And my game is coming out in like 2 months, so that's pretty cool. It's basically done. I just have to fix some little things, and I'm just dealing with like marketing things like festivals and stuff like that. How have you been?
I've been good. Okay, the video wasn't available on my website. It should be now, because I didn't have the embedding set. But should be working now.
Nice.
I have been working on a new short story, Andrew.
Oh yeah?
Yes. If you read the it looks like it is working on the website. But if you read my quarterly report, I mentioned that there were a couple things that had some work done, but not a lot. And so I'm finishing up one of the things I talked about in there. So expect that sometime before the end of the year, maybe.
Cool.
Because I still got the book stuff to do.
Yeah, you gotta follow Max's newsletter to be in the loop on that, right?
Yeah, I'm supposed to send it out every quarter. I think I missed the last one, but
yeah, there's some you've got some really interesting stuff that you're working on. Is your are you keeping the story that I read an earlier draft of? Is that on the DL right now, or can we talk about that? I was just gonna ask if you had it up on there, if people can have access to any version of it.
Are you talking about the novella or because I think all the short stories are up that you've seen. Which one are you thinking of?
Probably novella. Yeah, novella.
The one with the Klein and the Winter Lord.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an actual book that still needs a ton of work. I have to send it off to like an actual editor and stuff. And
okay.
That's probably not going to get worked on for a while.
You
probably
don't have like a closed beta test.
No. What's probably going to happen is I'm going to move because I'm going to be moving to Korea in a few months. So after I move there and have an actual job and I have income again, I'll come back to that and see about getting all of the everything necessary to all the money necessary to hire a proper editor and get all that stuff handled, and then the art for the covers and whatnot. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to send it off to a publisher or not. I might not. I haven't decided. But
yeah, man, you should totally like check out like agents and stuff. A friend of mine got like a deal with like an agent to get her book sold, and it seems like last time I heard it seemed to be going pretty well. So I don't know how hard it is to get that, but that might be worth it. That might be worth checking out.
Yeah, but that's a fair bit in the distance. So I figured I'd do some stuff now. So I've been doing the Arcane streams with you, and now I'm doing another short story project. The card game is kind of in limbo right now. I'm not super happy with it. From one of my favorite childhood books. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, Andrew. We're here to do a stream on Arcane. And the
Wait,
first
we're
thing
doing a stream?
we are. We've been live. We're live, Andrew. Hello, Riley. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I've been alive this whole time, Max. What?
Did you record the part where I advocated for those horrible, horrible things? Oh no! But as with any stream, we have to, of course, start with our famed ritual, the CTV, the Cult of Violence. Who's going off the wall today, Andrew? Now, I have someone I want to put on the wall, and it's topical, but I did pick last time.
So, oh no, do I have to pick someone to scapegoat for all my problems?
So I have some people I want to put up on the wall. That's very topical for this week. So if you don't have anyone good for this week, I got someone good for this week.
Well, GK Chesterton was asked what's wrong with the world, and he replied, me. So if I go by that logic, I think I should go on the wall. But I'm busy streaming, so I can't do that yet.
I think I have a very good. I have some very good people highly suited to the wall, Andrew. And they're your favorite kinds of people, Andrew. They're journalists. These motherfuckers coming out talking about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case.
Yeah.
Saying that, you know, really, us holding a domestic abuser to account for daring to insult Amber Heard, not convicted, but did lose the case today, owes Johnny Depp $8 million. How we can't talk about this, and we shouldn't talk about this, and we need to protect this domestic abuser, Andrew. We gotta protect her because it looks bad. That's who I want to put on the wall. These motherfuckers who talk all this shit about, we gotta believe the victims, Andrew, and we gotta care about the victims. When there is an undisputable victim, suddenly, oh no, we can't say, we gotta do whatever we can to protect these domestic abusers, Andrew. We gotta protect them. That's what we believe in.
Yeah, victims. I mean, like the whole
what
thing
about
is
the
like
perpetrators?
The whole like Me Too thing is it goes again. Like I didn't realize that it's more than just.
Did you drop out? Are you still there? I see your circle going green, but I'm not hearing your voice.
Well, let me refresh.
Are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Did that help?
Nope,
Did that
still
help?
nothing.
No, still nothing.
Well, it appears the gremlins did not like our sacrifice of these journalists. We're going to have no choice but to put more people on the wall if this keeps up. Well, I guess I'll just rant a little bit about these people, these fucking people who are so.
Can you hear me now? Is that better? Anything? No? I can't even hear you now. I just hear. What do I do about this? I don't know. Let me think.
Oh, can you not hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Can you?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sick. Okay, cool. I'll just see if I can set up a backup plan just in case.
The entire time. The issue is with my audio, not your mic.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I just hear like some like grinding sound, like if you take a notebook and like flip through like the rings of a notebook, I kind of hear that kind of sound pretty often from your end there.
Oh, here, let me change some settings on my shit then.
So you're okay there. What you just said, you sounded fine.
Okay, but yeah, you have any thoughts on these fucking journalists? But we can't talk negatively about Amber Heard. It's bad for abuse victims.
And I'm just glad that like justice was enacted. Well, I'm not sure because I think they also said that she was defamed for someone calling, like, I think one of Johnny Depp's lawyers saying that it was a hoax that
Okay,
she
so
did.
I can explain what
They
happened.
told, like,
I watched it.
okay.
What happened was Depp sued Heard for defamation. Amber countersued, and Johnny Depp won on the suit, saying that accusing him of being a domestic abuser was defamation, and he won. So in total he won like $15 million. However, the punitive damages is capped at like 300 and something, 300,000 and something dollars. And Amber Heard won one of her countersuits for $2 million, which his lawyer had made a statement that she had fabricated something, and she claimed she didn't fabricate it. So that's in total, Johnny Depp wins net like $8 million.
And is that 2 million subtracted from Johnny's win, or is that
Yes.
she gets? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's so the punitive damages are capped, so you can only award so much punitive, and the jury went over that amount, so they awarded him 15. He can only claim like a few $100,000 of the punitive, and then he has to pay Amber 2 million. Then after those two things, he gets 8 million. So he gets 10 million minus the 2 he owes Amber, so 8 million.
Okay, does Amber gain that 2 million, or does she just not have to give him 2 million versus having to give him a lot more than that? Or is the 300 the punitive, or is the punitive what she has to give him?
She has to give him 8 million. She has to give him $10 million, and Johnny Depp has to give her 2 million. So they're probably just going to work it out where she gives him 8 million.
Okay.
Also, right. If you haven't seen James Lee's video, the music video he dropped on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, it is brilliant, and I love it so much, and I recommend everyone go see it.
All right.
But yeah, that's who we're sacrificing to the gremlins this week, or to the blood god this week. Also, I saw the while we're talking about.
Wait, no, not to any. No, there's none of those. We're putting them on the wall, Max. The wall is much more reasonable than some sort of paganism.
Oh, I'm referencing 40K, Corn, Blood for the Blood God, Skull for the Skull Groans. Which
gotcha.
Apparently,
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, apparently, there was a video about how they're actually the good guys, and slaughtering old ladies and genociding plants is actually very noble.
Here's what I know about Warhammer. I know that orcs have things that they have to believe in, and it happens.
Yeah, this is actually the funniest part of 40K, because orcs are kind of dumb. So how they access the warp through sort of their minds are kind of linked to the warp in a way that's very different. So whenever they think things, it becomes true by the power of the warp. So, for example, all of their engineers can't do any actual engineering. They just think they can fix things, and then through magic they just can. Or everyone's favorite, they paint all their ships red because they believe red things move faster. And because of the power of the warp, they just do. Which is at least everyone's favorite story about a bunch of guardsmen getting pinned down by orcs. And they run out of bullets. So they turn to their commander and like, oh fuck, we're going to die. And the commander says, hold on. Big brain time. And he gets up, he points his gun, his unloaded gun, and yells, bang! And one of the orcs falls over dead. And they just start shouting, bang, bang, bang. And they start mowing them down. And the orcs believe they have bullets. So they have bullets by the power of the Immaterium. It's very silly. And that's why everyone loves him so much. Oh, before we forget, Andrew, there's something very important we have to do.
What?
We have to issue a correction.
Correction? I've never been wrong in my life.
Well, it wasn't you who made the mistake, it was me. So you can maintain.
Don't how do you put it? Don't accept defeat.
Well, listen, something that was I was. It's slightly true, but it's less untrue than it is true. So I have to issue the correction. I would remind everyone this is a media analysis show, not a news or politics show. So everything we talk about or we prepare for is for media stuff. So don't take anything we say in terms of like um, uh, analysis in sort of the real world. Take it all with a grain of salt, because that stuff is not prepared or stuff we looked up. Now, in the last show, we talked a bit about Jace being banished, and we related that to how in real life how universities sometimes act. And I made the comment that universities might take away degrees for ex students who do controversial or say controversial things. This is only slightly true. The degrees in question that were being considered for revoke were all honorary degrees, not actual degrees.
Mm.
So it was a bit. It was a long time ago, and it's hard to remember every single detail on the spot. But I figured that was egregious enough that we should probably correct it. The other parts, though, were true. They did kick people out of the university for the protest, and so I think the overall point we were making still kind of relates to the scene itself. It's just that one particular, and they still can revoke degrees if they find that you're in like you've done some kind of academic misconduct. So that part was also true. But the part about them revoking for controversial speech is honorary degrees, which I think most people would agree are different than actual degrees.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Probably worth correcting, but either way, universities are pretty cringe. That's my wisdom for the day.
Unless you go to an orc university.
From here. For what?
There's a great series. I think it's a guy called No Man who makes it, but it's orcs from the 40K universe discussing philosophy.
Oh,
and of course, orcs' philosophy is beat people, go war, make bigger. That kind of summarizes their entire outlook. So them analyzing in the orcs' school for big boy thinky pants is kind of hilarious. But with all that out of the way, somehow also I don't think. Hold on, let me. Jeez. There we go. Do that.
Is it time to watch Arcane?
Probably. I'm here. I have no chocolate egg cream this time. I'm out of chocolate syrup, so I'm drinking a gin and tonic. Because I'm going overseas and I don't want to get malaria.
Okay. Yeah. You can get malaria on many airplanes.
Yeah, fun fact.
I don't know if that's true.
Actually, hold on. There's something weird going on with the audio, I think, maybe.
Is it?
You want to just say something real quick so I can double check?
Yeah, sure. I'll just say something real quick.
Yeah, it should be.
Pretty good.
I don't know. It should be fine. Your audio is being recorded twice, but last time I got rid of your second audio, it was recording no times.
Oh, okay.
That's what. I don't know. You sound fine in the stream, so I'm just going to leave it.
All right. Okay. If it sounds fine, then let's get into the show.
Okay. Actually, no, you're echoing. Here. There we go. There should only be one Andrew audio now. Andrew, you want to try saying something so I can double check?
Yeah, I'm just talking. How's that?
Well, it's recording you, but you're now super quiet.
Well, rip. I mean, if it was working and it sounded fine, just leave me on with my tube.
I'm checking it now. I checked it now, and I think there was a bit of an echo as a result of it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Here's what we'll do. I will put you up, and then I will mute myself and let you. I don't know. I'll leave both of them up for now and try and figure this out while we watch this scene. and hopefully we figure something out. Okay, so do you remember what happened last time? We talked to Silco. Actually, I think this is after Silco, but we have
We watched the scene with Jason's mom. We watched Jace's trial. We watched there was a bit of an exchange between Vander and the name escapes me. Just gonna become a meme now that like the names of certain characters will just escape me. Oh shoot, I don't remember. It was like a obviously Vander has a deal. The Grayson is Grayson the officer, the enforcer.
yeah. Andrew's audio's gone down. I'm trying to fix sound settings on our side, but yeah, that should fix nothing. Hold on.
I remember at the beginning of the episode we saw Jace's encounter with magic. There's like a sorcerer of some kind, and he was like, "Whoa, cool!" And he like saved them. He got them like teleported in, and he got into trouble because they investigated his room and they found, sure, he got stolen from, but also he had he was in possession of some illicit blue crystal that he got from Heisenberg. That's not true. But yeah. So wait, what else? What else was going on? What were our heroes doing at that time? Was it this? No, I think last episode. The last episode was when I and Powder were talking and like looking at all the things that people kind of like screwed up with and stuff. Like overlooking the city, and then this episode we're training. Oh yeah, they were training and they got attacked. And Powder showed that she was a good shot compared to Milo, and we got to see some of Vi's dedication to boxing and their various degrees of effectiveness when dealing with enforcers on their territory, and they managed to give him the slip. I don't know if I don't know what else I may be missing, but yeah.
Yeah, that seems pretty much right. I'm still trying to fiddle with audio. You want to take point while I try and more people on the wall. Andrew, you gotta give me a few seconds trying to fix this. We gotta give more blood for the blood gods. Put another person on the wall while I figure this out.
No. This is what happens when you consort with paganism, Max. No, but should I just keep talking and stuff, or should I like play the video, or what do you want me to do? Just talking stuff, talking things.
Yeah, just put someone on the wall while I try to fix this mess.
Oh boy. All right. Well, if I go with the GK Chesterton route and go with the "I'm what's wrong with the world" mentality, that basically just means like. I mean, I guess Jordan Peterson talks about it a bit. This whole idea of like clean your own room and set your own house in order before you try to change the world. But the deeper aspect of that is like essentially constant conversion, just because even in like a natural sense, like everyone always has more to overcome and you can always be better than you currently are. You can always reach more potential, but also from the supernatural perspective of everyone having a tendency towards sin and needing to repent, and yeah, just kind of this probably is going to get pretty tangential with respect to putting someone on the wall, but basically the point is I guess it boils down to if you're gonna be criticizing someone, you better be ready to take criticism yourself, because we all deserve criticism. And if you criticize a show, you better be ready to make a better show. No, I'm kidding. That's not true. Um, how's the audio going, Max?
Hold on, I have you muted on. It's all going horribly wrong.
Oh no. Okay.
This is God.
Okay, I can keep rambling if you want.
Yeah. So the problem is, Streamlabs isn't giving me a way to record straight off my microphone. It's just giving me. Well, it's giving me microphone, but you're recording on like auxiliary microphone for some reason. Actually, hold up. Try saying something again. Let me see if this fixes it.
I'm in. I'm.
No, it's not.
Saying. Oh, okay.
Why won't it let me?
I was just yawning when you asked me to say something.
Okay. I don't know why it won't let me just record off of.
Let's do that. And yeah. For the love of God.
Why does nothing ever work?
Some things worked.
Oh, maybe this will do it.
Hold on a sec. I will do that. No one can hear me, but they can hear you, Andrew.
Okay. Well, if they can hear me, I better tell them that, hey, you should check out the Latin Mass. The Catholic Latin traditional Mass. It's the best version of the Mass. Especially if you can go with you can find a Society of St. Pius X parish. It's probably gonna be your best bet. They're super based, and yeah, you should go, because typical Catholic Mass that you've probably been to is a very watered down version of what had been a sort of ancient and consistent structure built up for centuries. And essentially what they did was they didn't just say, okay, let's do this same thing that we've been doing except in English. They said, let's rebuild the entire thing and basically make up a bunch of stuff. Very similar to what certain game companies and movie franchises have been doing, strangely enough. You can hear something on your end there, Max. How's that going?
For some reason, your audio is being sent through my actual microphone, despite my actual microphone not picking anything of yours up. So here's what we're. Jesus Christ, can we just hide? Mute that, hide. Mute that, hide. Okay, I will. Here's what we'll do. We'll go through it. I will talk, and then I will mute myself and let you talk on the better audio channel. That's just what we're going to have to do.
So, am I just talking, or you're still gonna be heard, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to mute my audio when I want to talk. When I will mute myself when it's your time to talk. Is basically what's going to happen.
All right. Well, we'll do our best, I guess.
Yeah, I will try and figure out some fix. And there we go. We have, oh Lord. Oh no. Oh no, he's taking the book, Andrew. He's taking the book.
I suspect Mr. Victor has other plans.
Yes, I've also noticed that around these parts in the story, a lot of people are a bit worried that Victor might be a villain on account of the way he looks. To which I want to say, if you thought Victor was a villain, you know, you're not a bad person. You just have views on people, on cripples similar to that of Adolf Hitler. Now,
It's also the German accent.
What's that supposed to mean?
Germans are evil, Max. Didn't you know?
No, the Germans are a noble race sent to civilize you Slavic.
Oh, they're right. They're the noble. Yeah, yeah.
Depends on who you talk to, I guess.
As usual, it depends on the individual. There are evil Germans. There are heroic Germans. And Victor is one of the ones that we don't know yet because he's a character in the show, and we know about how the show is trying to do with its characters, and they have interesting perspectives. I don't know much about Victor though.
Yeah, we have up to this point seen some stuff from him, like I pointed this out earlier when we watched the trial portion, how he was reacting to when he heard the instances of magic, and now we get another hint here where he's talking about, hold on a second, Professor, could you stabilize it? And Heimerdinger gives that sort of very interesting answer. Me, why would I? Not no, it can't be done. It's I wouldn't even try.
Yeah. Or well, it's not even. I wouldn't even try. It almost implies like, yeah, I could, but like that's stupid. I wouldn't. Like, I'm not gonna do that. That also kind of begs the question, like, you say it's dangerous, but you're also kind of implying like, yeah, like I could stabilize, I could make it like safe, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, which is a bit interesting from Heimerdinger's perspective, because his position is to talk about sort of the dangers of the whole thing, and his perspective on this, which will become evident as the show continues, is not to necessarily try and find a way to make it work or to work around the issues, but to just ignore the issues entirely and prevent it from ever coming up.
Mm.
Do you agree with that assessment, or?
Well, I don't know enough about him yet to know, but it certainly seems like that's been at least part of the case so far. I mean, he's definitely been there seems to be a certain degree of pride to him, and a lot of that is warranted, but he's also he's very resistant to being persuaded of potential the potential benefits of what's going on here. And that would be fine. He wouldn't be doing anything wrong if he would only kind of like be willing to at least have the humility to explain why he's so convicted of why it's dangerous.
Yeah. Well, maybe later in the show we'll get some hints at stuff, but for now, let's see what happens next.
Back to Silco.
What did I say, Andrew? What's the most important thing we have to remember?
Silco likes crab, fish, tanks.
What is? Oh, what's that in the corner there?
That's a land whale underwater.
It's a big shark. Big shark, Andrew.
Gooberfish.
I wonder what Silco is going to say about said big shark.
Threaten. Is it Decker? Is that his name?
That is his name. See, he loves him.
Hey, there you go. You're right.
It's a bit of a pain to keep switching between muting and unmuting the /Hogs. So you're going to have to give me a few seconds between pausing and speaking. So if I pause it and there's something you want to say it immediately, because it's going to take me a couple seconds. But this is a great line, because one, Silco loves sharks, which is the most important thing we have to remember, Andrew. But also, what's interesting is how he frames it, right? He has this bit where beautiful, aren't they? But on the surface, i.e. Piltover, they don't even know they exist, which is itself a common. And Decker's, of course, entrance is, they're scary and monsters, which is symbolic of the Piltover's view of Zon, right? It's in there. There's these weird monsters. It's scary there. But Silco's like, no, these things are beautiful, and you on the surface don't even know about them.
What's interesting to me here is like, there's a frequent juxtaposition of perspectives. We've talked a whole lot about like there's Vi and Vander, and they're they have something in common, but they're also on a certain thing diametrically opposed. Like like whether or not they should have done the job or not. We have Silco and Decker diametrically opposed about what they think about these giant monsters, and yet they obviously have something in common in that they're working together. He's working for him. Obviously, Silco's got like power over him, but it's just interesting. That's a very useful tool for all of these character explorations that we're doing. Like we've got these two guys who, and it's a small thing, right? Like they're just looking at like these massive sea creatures, but it seems like there's, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I'm kind of like going with that, but it's interesting that keeps happening. That's a great vehicle for just exploring the characters and like giving them a situation where they can clash and kind of talking about one thing, but we're also talking about other things at the same time. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
All right, let's. I'm going to keep continuing trying to fix the mic stuff here, but we're going to get a really cool speech from Silco, and then we'll come back and talk about it. All right, so that's a pretty. I think this is a really good explanation of Silco's philosophy generally, and particularly of sort of how he views himself in relation to the rest of the world. Right. We have sort of Deckard continuing on with the sort of Piltovers on metaphorical divide. They're monsters, and Silco has the response. Well, there's a monster inside all of us, which one sort of has a bit of teeth in considering what Vi says about Jace and Piltover in general in episode 8. about how, look at what they've done to that while they're never directly involved, it's their decisions and their actions that have turned uh, Zon into a place like this, and how horrible it is for the people who live there. Right? So there's sort of that. Well, that's not directly stated. We can sort of interpret that from sort of the metaphorical framework. But also, it talks about Silco as his sort of view on. I guess you would actually have to classify it as terrorism. Um, but he comes in with his explanation of power, and how uh, real power comes to those who will do anything to achieve it, which coincides with his willingness to do anything and anything at all to achieve Zon. And as well, comparing, because he's talking the smartest, strongest, or fastest, we sort of know part of what he's talking about here is Vander, who's very physically capable, as opposed to Silco, who is very sort of scrawny. Was there anything you wanted to add, Andrew?
There was. I have to remember. Oh yeah. Well, okay. I mean that was a pretty much like, I think you nailed it. But one thing I wanted to, like, I don't know, the whole like there's a monster inside all of us is kind of like, it feels to me like a bit of a cliche sort of line, but like it does do the job in terms of setting up Silco's perspective. And I think he's felt like he's been betrayed and stuff, by Vander. So it makes a lot of sense for him to think that anybody can be capable of doing something that would be seen as terrible, and he's probably willing to justify his own actions by saying that, like, oh yeah, like of course I'm gonna do terrible things. There's a monster inside all of us. There's a like, they're no better. They have done things. They will do things. They can do things that are evil. And yeah, and he's clearly willing to do anything, and I wonder. Well, I guess he's willing to use anyone for anything to get to his goal. I suspect he himself wouldn't be willing to inject himself with Shimmer. It's not permanent, is it? Like, once it kind of buffs you up, it goes away after a while?
I believe it does. At this point in the story, it does. There's some. Right now, yes. Also, I think I may have fixed the audio problem. Do you want to try saying something real quick?
Sure, I'm saying stuff. How's this? Alright.
Andrew, if you showed up for instead of like 5 minutes before we went live, you could have tested this all very closely. Just saying, bruh. I wouldn't have to.
I apologized already.
I know. I'm giving you a hard time. It's just so, in case anyone's wondering, what's odd is Andrew's audio is being recorded through my physical mic, despite my physical mic not actually hearing any of Andrew's audio. And so I can only assume it has something to do with the voice splicer thing I have, which is sort of a pain in the ass. But because I have like a voice mirror that splits the Discord audio and the show audio, so that's how our viewers don't hear any of the audio from the show, only audio from us. And I'm guessing it must be doing something weird, or just somehow fucking weird, so that it's recording like this. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. Let's play a bit more and see what happens. So what do we think of that scene?
Is he so? I'm slightly confused as to whether he's genuinely doing this, like feeling that like he's been convinced by Silco's reasoning, or if he is purely intimidated and threatened to do this.
Well, it's probably a bit of column A and column B. The speech itself is designed to appeal specifically to Deckard, right? He's just gotten his ass kicked, right? He's was in a very scary situation. He's someone who doesn't have a lot of power, who is in a position where he probably would want a lot of power. And so Silco makes this speech talking about power in a way that would appeal to him, that one aligns with who he is, and two would appeal to Deckard at this moment, but also three serves as an underground, sort of a subliminal threat of some kind. Because the crux of it is, I have power and I want more power, and I will do literally anything to achieve it. I'm not really the kind of person you want to fuck with. All right, Andrew.
Yes.
Oh, that any issues with that? Do you agree with that? Disagree?
I agree. Yeah, I'm. I guess I'm not sure when the. You're okay to like you're just kind of like watching to like pause or not or like mute or not mute my talking stuff or.
Yeah, I unmute and then I talk and then I mute again, and it's a pain in the ass.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add. I mean, well, I guess like just that whole idea of like looking for the sort of people who will be willing to do extreme things to get power or to do what they perceive to be having power, because like if he has no control over his mind, he has no power. Like it's interesting also what Heimerdinger said to Jace, like you're in prison but your mind is free, like that sort of idea. But you know, this guy, his mind is in prison but uh well, his body is free to smash whatever it wants. From my understanding, I'm pretty sure that like Shimmer people are kind of, well, like at the very least, it like messes with them, kind of like messes up their heads and stuff. Even if it's just like addiction or whatever, you know, like the crazed rage is definitely part of that. So I find that super interesting. There's that like the juxtaposition of like what Heimerdinger said, and there's also um just like looking for who would be willing to take on that perceived power while not having actually any power.
All right. Cool. So it is just throwing this out there. Is there any way you could like boost your audio to like twice the volume?
Um, I could just be like, is this better? I could be like right up to the microphone.
Let me switch it over. Okay, try saying something.
Raise the gain. I'm talking, but I'm seeing if I can maybe raise the gain. How's this? Is that better?
Yeah, it's just going to suck more. We'll keep doing it the way we are, but afterwards, we're going to have to spend like some time after this fixing this. Go back to what you were doing before.
Yeah, I just had it a little bit lower. Like I think like this might. Oh, that's okay.
unmute myself. Okay, so this is kind of the scene that everyone dislikes the Kiermans for. I think we talked a fair bit in length about how, at least how I felt that some people may have been a bit too hard on the Kiermans. Has this clip or this scene changed your mind on that? 'Cause it seemed like you were agreeing with me somewhat. Has this changed your view on anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much in agreement with you, Max.
Your gain is still like way up.
As low as it gets.
Yeah, that seems like it's back to normal.
Right.
I just came in and sound like
Sorry. And that doesn't help with the way that you were trying to do it, having it high.
Yeah. I wish everything was working properly. This is the workaround. We're gonna have to spend like 20 minutes after this to make sure, because it worked perfectly last time, and then. All right, you were saying?
Right. So, dude, remind me what she did at the trial again.
At the trial, she spoke for his character and voted to have him banished instead of exiled. And that's pretty much the extent of her involvement.
Yeah, I mean, like, so that's a bit of a bonus, because like a bit of a positive, but like, it boils down to like what else was she like supposed to do? Like, if she was in favor of him at that point, yeah, I don't know, because this is not. I mean, like, I guess she can still be upset with him, but not want him to be like, like, were they gonna? They were gonna. Were they? Was the alternative to execute him, or was it just to kick him out, or like?
So
he's already kicked out of the academy.
Right. So the kicking out of the academy was the punishment. The highest possible punishment was they were going to banish him from the city. And so we got a reduced sentence, and he's just banished from the academy, not the city entirely.
Oh, and she wanted to banish him.
No, she wanted to get. Oh. She gave him the lesser sentence. She voted with Heimerdinger and Mel.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like, so it makes sense that she is still like pissed off at him, and maybe doesn't trust him, but also thinks he doesn't deserve banishment. Like that seems consistent to me, and that's just what she sees as the best course of action, I guess. I mean, he was hiding something from others, and I guess her daughter was around that, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Apparently, my are you hearing your voice through through Discord?
It was a little bit there.
Okay, that's also weird mic stuff. I can't be doing both those things, so you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Okay, no worries.
But yeah, my position is, because I think a lot of people look at it like Jace was trying to do this great thing, and now everyone's abandoning him because it's no longer cool to be with a popular. Right? This is from their perspective. This is a very serious crime. This is like finding out that, like, imagine you have a kid, and you've been sending them to their uncles, and you found out this whole time the uncle had a meth lab in his basement that wasn't properly stored, and then the meth lab exploded. And also, you're like one of the most important politicians in the country. Like, there isn't a whole lot that they can really do, practically speaking. Right? They've pulled out all the reasonable stops they can to help him. But there is probably there is an element of we are, we're politicians, we're high society, we can't be associating with major criminals like you. But two, they're probably like the dad was already super upset about how Caitlyn almost like people. We get the line from Grayson, "Were people hurt? What do you think?" So she could have been seriously hurt or almost died. Her dad's already upset about that, and the Miss Kierman still goes to bat for him, and then she finds out that he's doing all this seriously dangerous and illegal stuff that they're tied to now. Like I think they're being as helpful as they can in the situation, right? And she comes out, and it's not like she's like she doesn't start ragging on him, right? She doesn't call you piece of shit, you fucking asshole, right? She comes out and she says, "Hey, it, he says, I'm sorry. I came to explain. You've done enough." Which is it's not a like we hate you now. Although it's like this our relationship has to be over now. And it's there's not a lot of malice in the statement is what I'm saying. I don't think anyway. Maybe you think different.
I mean, I think it's more than just a matter of fact, like, you've done enough, like, this is it. But I think it's much more of like I'm disappointed that you've done this. Like, you're freaking welcome that I made sure that you're not banished, and we're done. And I don't think that's I think that's like maybe unfair, but also like it's completely reasonable, like for all the factors that you said. So I don't think there's anything that like I don't know. I mean, like the whole idea of like, oh, like I'm gonna hit on this character or something. I mean like it's perfectly consistent with the character. This is kind of what we're doing here, right? We're not from what I'm gathering from this show is we're not really like rooting for people so much. Like we are in a sense, but like from everything I know about this show, like we're not here to be like, oh, I'm gonna like, well, okay, so that's kind of stupid. Like people can do whatever they want. People can enjoy the show however they want. My approach to the show is I'm kind of like just exploring what people with strong convictions about like very opposed strong convictions are going to do, and what happens when you have a catalyst. Like it's observing events and it's impactful, but it's like I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense to me to be like, oh, like I don't know, this character like is like it makes sense if it's like a stupid like character decision that doesn't that's like why would that character do that? If it's like, yeah, this is exactly what these characters would be doing, then to me that just makes it more interesting and gives us more to dissect. So that's my take there. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Uh, let's hold on. Let's do that. All right, let's watch a bit more. Okay. What do we think about that scene, Andrew?
Marcus kind of he makes an interesting expression there when the guy says, you know, tear up the place, tear up the embassy. Maybe not quite like enthusiastic, but kind of like, because, well, you know, oh yeah, because he made a deal with Silco that we don't really know the full extent of. But it's interesting that he's kind of like, you know, yeah, I'm super down to do whatever it takes, and you know, he's seen him be more eager than Grayson. And on that note, it's interesting that Grayson is very much like, yeah, like we've done a lot already. Like this is a big deal, but also like we really have to push this more? Like we've scared them, we've interrogated, we've been among them, we've chased their kids around. And she doesn't say all that obviously, but like we've seen what they did is what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, as we know, she did say like we're gonna need someone. It's also interesting that she was pretty hard on Vander, but she's also very much like kind of defending him now that she's not talking directly to him, but now talking to like she's a very interesting kind of like mediator character.
Yeah. So one of the two things I find kind of interesting is one, we once again see how Piltover kind of deals with people from the Undercity. Right? They never ask any questions about, well, what's happening down there, what's going on. They say, this is an issue for us, deal with them, and deal with it. And Grayson being the one who is familiar out of all of them, because Marcus, despite going down there, is very clearly sort of he's somewhat of a rookie in this sort of sphere. Is the one saying, hold on, maybe we need to think about what we're doing here. But of course, thinking is for nerds. Now is the time for action, which aligns perfectly with what Marcus is being told, because he wants to go hard on them, and they are in effect giving him leeway to do it. So I wonder, do you think he's going to do something crazy?
I think he's going to do the most reasonable possible thing he could do.
Well, let's find out, because I believe he's in the next scene. And we have Vander contemplating the deal. Muted. All right, let's pause there. So we have Marcus's big brain decision is to go raid Vander. That might be a little crazy, considering the relationship that he has with the enforcers and what he's necessary for. But I kind of the scene on one hand is a little scary because you're worried about Powder and friends, but also he sort of has this attitude when he goes in where he's trying to be like he's very arrogant, and it seems to be kind of an attempt at a display of power. And note here, unlike with Silco, he has guards with him. Also, hey, look at the monkey. I wonder if that will be important later. Anything you wanted to add, Andrew?
So this, kind of on a different note, what do you think about like the voice actor's performance for Marcus?
I like the Marcus as a voice actor. I think he does a pretty good job of displaying, like, so there's So there's this Marcus and there's older Marcus who we meet later. And I think he does a good job of doing this sort of rash, young kid. I say kid. He's probably like 20 something, but like he's new. He's a rookie sort of deal, which is a little odd because he's ordering people around. But I think from the voice acting we get a general impression of who he's supposed to be, and I think he does both now and later when we see sort of the next phase of Marcus. Why do you not like his acting?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's fine, but it's. I think the reason. I think it depends because I think if he's going for, like so, this is kind of like a stupid way of putting it because it's kind of like I don't know, chicken and egg, or like the conclusion proves the premise or whatever kind of thing. But like if he's going for what he's doing, then yes, because um he seems kind of overconfident, but it's like I don't know, I guess I'm getting kind of like anime dub vibes, if that makes sense. But I think that's just because that is the character. Like he's very like he is being very overconfident, which we've seen, and I think that's kind of what's trying to be done there, which I think is fine. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of like I'm probably like observing something that's not that like that. I'm probably observing inaccurately, but I'm just curious, kind of what you thought about that. I want to see more of him doing stuff to um more sure about that. And I think I had no issue with him at all up until now. I thought he was quite good. So maybe it's just this particular scene or something.
Well, in the scene we'll get a fair bit more with Marcus and Vander that you can kind of go off. As well, the other thing I would comment on is I think Marcus's voice actor is good. I think he's doing a good job, but I think a lot of the voice acting in this is really great, so it may not look as good by comparison. Like Powder, the girl who does Powder, does a phenomenal job, especially there's a scene that everyone thinks of when they think of Powder's voice acting, and she does an insanely good job, especially for someone who at this point I believe she at time of recording is like 11. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so she's very good, and as well the guy who does Silco is phenomenal. Uh, a lot of these people are phenomenal, but I think he's doing as good a job as like I think he's as good as whoever plays like Heimerdinger and Mel and whatnot. Um, I get so the criticism thing here is probably that if I were to guess what you're trying to say is that he's overacting it a little bit, which
Maybe.
right
Yeah.
which I can kind of see where you're coming from. I think they've done enough to build up the scene that it makes sense. He's a little over the top, right? He's one to do this. I'm okay. I'm back now. Two, but one, he's wanted to do this since he began. Two, he now has his boss's bosses, all of them, riding his ass now to get this fucking done. And he hates all these people anyway. So this is if there's one scene where he's going to be a bit over the top, it's going to be this scene. So yeah, let's play a bit more and see what we think. I'm just going to comment before we get to the Vander and Marcus part. I think this scene, I'm not a big fan of a lot of suspense scenes because I think they just get boring after a while. Because it's the same thing. You're just waiting to see what happens, and eventually, I get to a point where like, okay, is the bomb going to blow up or not? I don't care which way it goes at this point. I just want the answer, and I get really annoyed. But I think with this scene in particular, and Andrew might not notice it as much because we're going to be pausing a fair bit. But I think this scene is perfectly timed and has enough stuff happening in because it's not the same thing over and over and over again of just a guy looking around. They have those cuts where he like looks under the bed, and they don't, and it looks like that they're going to get captured. Like stuff is happening, and it's just long enough to reach the maximum amount of suspense without overstaying its welcome and becoming just boring and waiting to find out if they get caught or not. I don't know. Andrew hasn't gone through the whole scene, so he may disagree with that when we come to the end. But that's what I think.
There's a lot of static coming from your end there, Max. Max, I don't know if you're talking now. It's very staticky. It's just kind of pure static right now.
So
It just sounds really spooky. I don't know what's going on there.
yeah.
Oh, you're back. Yeah, it's a lot better. You're normal again.
Okay. I threw us up on a BRB menu.
Okay.
Honestly, it's not a great BRB menu. Okay, it seems like we're doing audio here. Oh, Andrew, can you talk for a sec?
Sure thing. I am talking. I am currently talking. All right.
Okay, I'll talk for a bit. I was thinking that it might be a good idea to cut this one a bit short and do the next couple of scenes, and then that means next week when we do a part 3 of this, and then that gives us like a a half an hour to talk about going into right. So the third episode, the 6th episode, and the 9th episode are all finales that complete one act. And so doing it that way would give us like going into episode 3 would give us some time to like talk about how they've built things up for episode 3 for the finale. Because if we cut it short here, like I'm not saying we maybe do a couple more scenes and then finish that off next week and then do a segment where we talk about how this is built up well for episode 3 might be a good idea. And that would also give us time to try and fix this stupid.
That's fine by me.
Actually, you know what? Because I want to talk about the song too, and it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to do it this way, because there is like yeah, there's only a few minutes left. Yeah, let's do this scene finished, and then I have you muted, but yeah, let's watch the rest of the scene, and then we'll call it quits, and we'll try and figure this out for. I don't know what's going on or why my mic is recording your audio, but that's what seems to be causing all of our fucking problems.
Yep. So did you want to do?
Yeah, did I want to do what?
Just to
I figure we finish this scene and then call it a night.
Okay, gotcha. Makes sense.
All right. All right, we're going to call it there. The scene technically continues, but it's a whole different thing. So that's where we're going to pause it. But yeah, a couple things before the audios hit again. Notice so Marcus comes in and says, I heard about you from an old friend, Andrew. I wonder if this phrase or terminology is going to come up and be important later. It will. The answer is next episode. But Yeah. How about we start with you, Andrew? What did you think?
Okay. It's interesting how confident Vander is in the face of it, and how he kind of like just kind of brushes aside. Like it's almost like Soko like accuses him like, oh, you used to not be so peaceful, and he's like, yep, and he like looks up at his weapons, at his like brass knuckly type things, and just like like just straight up like, yeah, like like basically taunting him like, do you want me to like go back to that, like, because I could, but I don't want to. um and like from what we know about Vander, he probably wouldn't, but that's pretty cool. um and Marcus is, talking a big game, but he's still struggling to find anything concrete, so all he can do is talk. And the more and more he talks, the more and more I think we see that he's that he doesn't really have as much behind his words of much weight. Like maybe if he was able to actually like find the stuff and find the kids and stuff, then maybe like at that point this would be a bit trickier. But yeah, okay, lots of static there from you, Max. In any case, that's about all I've got to say on that. So unless you're, looks like you're muted, so you back. Still static. All right. Still static. All right. So yeah, Max just told me to close out the show there. Sorry guys for all the technical issues that we've had. Yeah, I'll I won't be 5 minutes before next time. And so okay, you should check out Max's website and his Twitter, and all of his writing is really cool. Very interesting stuff, very unique stuff. Check out and wishlist Air Obscure, sign up for the closed beta on my Discord, watch the live stream that's currently running 24/7 on Steam. It's a pre-recorded thing. You can kind of hear my thoughts on the game and stuff. Subscribe, of course, and stay tuned for next week when we will have our technical difficulties sorted out and watch the rest of episode 2 of Arcane. Thanks for watching.